US President Donald Trump has issued a stark 48-hour ultimatum to Iran: reopen the Strait of Hormuz or face US action. The warning marks a sharp escalation in the fourth week of the US-Israel war, with Washington now pushing to secure the world's most critical energy route. The Strait of Hormuz, carrying nearly a fifth of global oil and gas, has become the epicenter of a widening geopolitical crisis. Shipping has slowed dramatically, triggering fears of a global energy shock and renewed volatility in oil markets. But the crisis is no longer limited to the battlefield. The standoff is rapidly evolving, from a military conflict into a high-stakes struggle over control of global energy flows, with Hormuz emerging as the central pressure point.
If Iran doesn't fully open without threat the Strait of Hormuz, within 48 hours from this exact point in time, the United States of America will hit and obliterate their various power plants, starting with the biggest one first. Thank you for your attention to this matter.
In a major development, key US allies, including the United Kingdom, France, Germany, Italy, the Netherlands, and Japan, have signaled readiness to support efforts to secure the strait, amid growing pressure from Washington. However, divisions remain within NATO over direct military involvement, with Emmanuel Macron ruling out forced intervention. Tehran has issued a counter-warning. Any move against it will trigger retaliation across US and allied infrastructure in the region, raising the specter of a broader confrontation between Iran and a Western coalition. With a 48-hour clock ticking, the Strait of Hormuz is no longer just a choke point. It is now the front line of a potential global standoff, where the next move could reshape both the conflict and the world's energy order. Tensions in the Strait of Hormuz are escalating, as Western powers signal readiness to intervene after accusing Iran of disrupting global shipping routes. A joint statement by the United Kingdom, France, Germany, Italy, the Netherlands, Japan, and Canada comes amid growing pressure from US President Donald Trump on allies to act. After an initial snub to Washington's calls, drawing sharp criticism from President Trump and even threats to reconsider US commitments to NATO, European and allied nations now appear to be rallying behind a coordinated response on Hormuz, marking a significant shift in stance. The statement condemns what it calls Iran's de facto closure of the strait, a critical oil artery carrying nearly 20% of global supply. However, Tehran has already warned European nations against aligning with what it calls a US-Israel-driven conflict, destabilizing the region.
We condemn in the strongest terms recent attacks by Iran on unarmed commercial vessels in the Gulf and the de facto closure of the Strait of Hormuz by Iranian forces. We call on Iran to cease immediately its threats and attempts to block the strait to commercial shipping.
Despite strong language, divisions remain within Western alliances. NATO acknowledges coordination, but no clear military pathway has emerged, reflecting hesitation among European powers.
When it comes to Iran, and the risk of Iran getting its hands on a nuclear capability or a ballistic missile capability, we have consistently said as NATO, collectively, that that cannot happen. So it is really crucial that that capability of the ballistic missiles, of the nuclear capability is severely degraded. When it comes to the Strait of Hormuz, I've been in contact with many allies. We all agree, of course, that Strait has to open up again. And what I know is that allies are working together, discussing how to do that. What is the best way to do it? They are working on that collectively to find a way forward.
France has indicated conditional involvement, but stopped short of backing any forceful action, underscoring fears of a wider regional war.
Once the situation calms down, France is ready to take responsibility for a ship escort system. This is not intended to be a military operation. We will not participate in any forced opening of the strait in the context of ongoing military operations and bombings.
Global powers now face a critical balancing act, securing energy flows without triggering a broader confrontation with Iran, as the Strait of Hormuz becomes the epicenter of a rapidly intensifying geopolitical crisis.